This first DIY is a wreath, and here are the items I'm using. I couldn't use my wreath form with the wood pieces, so instead I used it as a template, and I cut out a circle from old cardboard, and then I measured and drew the notches on the sides there for the width that I wanted, and then that helped me cut out the circle on the inside to be even. So I'm just taking some ribbon I have on hand, and I'm securing it with both permanent glue and hot glue, and I'm going to wrap it halfway around the wreath form. Now, I don't have any popsicle sticks on hand, but if I did, I would put those on the back to secure it even more. So I'm just wrapping the ribbon around, and then when I get to the bottom of the form, I'm just going to be securing it again with the permanent and hot glue. Now comes the fun part. Now remember, I'm using both the permanent glue and the hot glue to secure the wood rounds along one side of the wreath form. I am spacing them out to give the wreath a more even look because they're all different sized, and I just want to make sure that it has a nice even look. And then when I get it all spaced out, I'm going to secure them all down with the glue, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So here's how that looks when it's done, and now I'm moving on to my greenery. I'm using some eucalyptus picks that I have on hand, and I'm gluing them with both of the glues. I'm not sure if I should, but I know it will be secure on this particular form if I use both of the glues. And now I'm just taking some extra greens that I have on hand where I had cut the flowers off of them and used them in another project, and I'm just adding those to the wreath. So now I'm liking how this is shaping up. Now I am again using both glues to add my flowers. This was a little more challenging, and the plastic backs didn't want to stick very well. So I secured some of the petals that were on the flowers also. I'm using 3 different style flowers here, and I'm putting the white ones in the middle, the largest ones, and then I'm going to secure the other ones that are also the neutral color on either side of the 2 larger ones. Now I really like it with these neutral color flowers, but I decided that it needed a little more greenery, and I found another eucalyptus stem. I cut it down a little bit. I already know I'm going to be going to the store to pick up some of the items here that I'm going to need to replace. I wasn't sure about the pink roses, but it is springtime, and I decided to add a little pink touch to it. I decided that the wood side was not full enough with the florals on the opposite side, so I took more of my wood rounds and I made an extra layer on top. I just glued a little jute hanger on the back. And here is my finished spring wreath that I made with items I had on hand. The second DIY is a trash to treasure using an old coffee container, Waverly chalk paint and plaster, a foam brush, jute twine, hot glue, and some ribbon. So I am painting the can with the Waverly chalk paint. I'm painting it carefully. I'm making sure that I'm getting it into all the indentations there. And I ended up painting 3 coats of paint on this container. I have to say the handle on the back was pretty nifty. I was able to hold it carefully while I was painting it. But it did take 3 coats, and I was going to do some distressing, but in the end I decided not to. So I hot glued some ribbon and I hot glued the jute twine, and you see I have the cap on it, and you could use it just like this as a storage container. It would be great. but I decided to do something different with it. Okay, they sell these things called floral frogs, and they help you make an arrangement and make it prettier and make it shaped more nicely. You can also buy vases with frogs already in them. I'm making a homemade one here with masking tape. I'm doing 3 pieces of tape on each side, and one way, and then rotating it and doing it the other way. And that gives me the holes that I need to make my floral arrangement and to make it stand out nicely. I'm also going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim off the edges here, and then I'll just kind of press those down around the side of the container so that it stays nicely in place for me. So I have these hydrangeas, and I cannot remember if I got these at Dollar Tree or at Joann's or one from one place or one from the other. But anyways, I have 10 of these flowers, and so I'm going to have a couple holes left over, but you're not going to be able to see it because these flowers are pretty full. And I'm just arranging them inside the container the way that I want them. And you can see that the tape makes it real easy to find a slot. And this also is very helpful if you don't have any floral foam on hand. It makes a different way of being able to make an arrangement without the floral foam. So I'm just switching one of those around. I don't like where that is, and I'm just going to swap 2 of those out. And here is my floral arrangement in my coffee container vase. What do you think? I really like the way it turned out. Thanks so much for watching this video today. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe for more videos.